after that commercial.
We're three brothers from a small town in the east coast of Canada.
Golf has been in our blood since Caddyshack was at the drive-in.
We've dedicated our lives to this game.
Ride free with them high falcons in the sun. Ride the pebble on down. Not over 55 in the motor song. Back over at home in the AM radar. Love's coming on strong. It's getting you along. It's going in a go. Easy, oh, won't you take me in? The sun of that old fashioned California sin. Oh, there's the rules. I don't make them. Give me the dice. Watch me shake them. If I give myself to you, well, you gotta give yourself to me. There's the rules.
Hey, welcome back to the Blue Line Hockey Club, folks. We got another exciting episode of the Blue Line Hockey Club. We got all the usual suspects sitting in the house with us tonight. We have our producer, Patrick Uncle Arnie Sullivan. What's up, Patrick?
Aloha.
And our local nerd on staff, our IT guy, Robbie Pete Peters. What's up, Pete?
Hey, how you momming him?
And over there in the top right on my screen, our all-around sports guru, Derek D-Train. What's up, D-Train?
What's up, sweetos?
And your host of the Blue Line Hockey Club tonight, Mark the Doctor Morley.
Oh, doctor.
Well, boys, episode 118 tonight. We got a special guest sitting in with us tonight. We have Jason, the Dart Guy. How do you say this? Malaco?
Close enough.
That's
Oh, man. Where's it?
Welcome, Jason.
Malaco, something like that, right?
Maslico, yeah.
Maslico, fuck it. That was close. Well, welcome to the show, man. Yeah, it's we've seen a bunch of your stuff on online and on TV and shit like that. There he is, nice picture of you right there. How long does it take to put that fucking paint on anyway?
Well, the first time I did it in Washington, it didn't take all that long. That's why it looked a whole lot worse than it does recently. But yeah, that was done with some horrible Halloween makeup, and I was half gooned at the time when I was doing it. So, but by all means, it takes me about an hour and a half now. Now that it's a little bit more refined and some better makeup and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it takes a little while.
And you get it right in there in the beard too. So that take a while to wash that shit out.
You have no idea, man. Like it's a spray on that dyes the beard, so it's like a hairspray with dye in it, and that stuff I usually have to wash my beard like 3 times to get it all out.
Wow.
It's a process. Dedication.
Yeah. So let's say there's a Leafs game tonight, and you're going. And you put on all that shit like the next day, or you still like at 3 or at dinner time, you looking in the mirror and you still got fucking blue shit on?
No, I usually wash it off right after the game. Just that way, there, if I'm going out for some pops with some buddies and stuff, I'm not walking in the bars all painted up.
Getting mobbed. I mean, people now probably want to come get their picture with you and stuff, right?
It's actually insane the amount of times I will get stopped in a night at a Leafs game. The amount of times I'll get stopped, even if I don't have the makeup on, from people just recognizing me, knowing who I am. Like I've been pulled over on the highway here by cops who recognized me and wanted to take a picture.
Really?
Happened to me twice. Cherries go on. I'm looking at my speedometer. I'm like, I'm definitely not speeding. Like, what's going on? And sure enough, the cop comes up to the window. Is like, you're Dark Guy. Yeah, can you get out for a picture? Right on the side of the highway. Yeah, no problem. Let's do it.
Let's make sure you get home, sir.
Where did that come from, man? Like, why'd you start this shit?
Well, I'll tell you. The long story short is obviously I'm a diehard Leafs fan. I've got them tattooed on me. They're with me for life. As everybody knows, getting Leafs tickets in Toronto is a difficult task in the at the best of times. So when the Leafs came and made the playoffs for that first time against Washington there 4 years ago, it was the first time in forever they had been in the playoffs. at the time, a 37-year-old guy, I had been a Leafs fan my whole life and never went to a Leafs playoff game. So a couple of my buddies and I, we started thinking, well, we got a better shot at getting tickets in Washington and driving down. It'll probably be cheaper. So we ended up getting some tickets, and I told my buddies, I said, listen, the Washington fans are going to know we were there. I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet, but I wanted to make sure that they knew Leafs Nation was there. And as the days were leading up to us going, that was the plan I came up with. I got the Stanley Cup shaved in the mohawk, designed the face paint, got everything ready. And it was half in part to show, my support for the Leafs, the other half in part to troll the Caps fans in their home rink.
Let them know the Maple Leafs are in the house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
So how is it getting tickets now? Do you have season tickets? Do you get free tickets? Like, what do you do to get in now?
Well, one of the points of contention, I wish the Leafs would have given me seasons tickets. That would have been fantastic. But alas, it didn't happen. I usually went to about 7 or 8 games every year. The only difference is now I go to about the same amount. I just pay for a lot less of them.
Yes.
That's good. That'll help.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I'll tell you, like when Uncle Lardy here started telling me that we're gonna have you on, I was like, the only other thing I could remember, like as a guy like painting their face, was like on Seinfeld. Remember when like Elaine's boyfriend there, like Devils, the Devils,
we gotta support the team.
Yeah. So like I was like, is that a dark guy? And I'm like, no, obviously not dark guy. He's a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but I'm enamored by this, man. I love it completely.
I appreciate that. It's I'm an outgoing guy, and I'm like a fairly big dude, so I wasn't really too worried about any Caps fans going the wrong way with it or anything.
Walking into the Capitals arena with all of your fucking Toronto.
You can handle your own, man. You can handle your own.
Yeah.
So when you're in the rink now, is everybody like, "Hey, dark guy, what's up, dark guy?"
Absolutely. It's honestly, it's a little bit humbling and crazy. I still don't believe it at times. Like, I've been to games with some fairly famous people where they were Leaf fans and they wanted to take me. And, I've had people come up to me like Dallas Smith, for example, used to be lead singer at Default. He's a fairly well-known Canadian country artist now. Him and I went to a game and people were going up to him and being like, "Hey, buddy, can you take a picture of me and Dark Guy?" And they were like, Dallas Smith, purposes, is a very famous person. And they were just like, "Hey, buddy, can you take a picture of me and your friend or me and Dark Guy?" And I was just like, "Sorry, dude."
This can only happen at the Maple Leafs game, guys.
It was actually the worst part. It was in Vancouver. It was at a Leafs game, but a Leafs game in Vancouver. So we weren't even in Toronto, and Dallas is from Vancouver, which made it that much worse. If anywhere people should have really known him, it was in his home rink. But the stories I've had are absolutely amazing. Wayne Gretzky was a lifetime idol. I idolized the kid growing up, the guy growing up, and last year I had the opportunity to meet him. And when I went up to him to get his picture, he had a security guard with him who was stopping everybody, saying, "Wayne's taken enough pictures." And as I was walking up to Wayne, the security guard actually went to step in front of me and tell me, "No, Wayne's not taking any more pictures." Wayne actually reached out, pulled the security guard back, and with his other hand, put his hand out and said, "Dark Guy, nice to meet you." Wayne Gretzky knew who I am. That's it. I'm done. I can die happy.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow. You're all right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Jason, tell us about this picture. How were you able to meet Austin Matthews' parents?
That was after one of the playoff games against the Caps. I had been. That's right outside of the arena. There's a bar called Real Sports Bar that I had gone to after the game, and I was actually going out for a dart, and I was kind of getting swarmed by people for pictures. And they came up to me. It started. It was Austin's father came over to me, and he's like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And I had just taken like 30 pictures in a row, and I didn't even recognize him. And then I looked at him and I'm like, oh my God, like the light bulb was starting to go off and I was wearing a Matthews jersey. He's like, so that Matthews jersey you're wearing? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's my son, eh? And I looked at him and I gave him a big hug. I'm like, thank you for giving us a God. And so, yeah, then his mom came over and had that picture. Absolutely amazing folks, really down to earth and just salt of the earth people. So I can't say enough good things about Austin's parents.
So are you all over the arena, or do you sit in the same section, or how's that work?
Generally speaking, when I go to a game now, it's there's usually an opportunity to go to a couple different maybe boxes and visit with some players or guys that I know. So I will watch the game. In the end, I am a Leafs fan. I go to a game to watch a game. But during the intermission, it can get pretty hectic because, I'm bouncing around here and there, going to people and
double fisting.
100%.
So how many rinks have you been to? You said you've been to Vancouver, the Capitals. Where have you been to watch the Leafs? Everywhere?
I had gone to Montreal. I've been to Ottawa, Columbus, Vancouver, and Calgary. I was at the Saddledome in Calgary.
Nice.
Truth be told, one of the ones that's on my list that I need to get to soon is Madison Square Garden. I've been to New York. I've been outside MSG, but I've never been to a game there. So that's one that's up on my list.
Yeah,
my father-in-law used to work for Budweiser, and I got to watch a game in Madison Square Garden from the Budweiser suite, man. It was that arena is unbelievable, man. It's unreal. So I echo your sentiment to get there because it's really kind of like a majestic arena. Honestly, It really is.
It is. I saw the Sabres and the Rangers play there back in the 90s. And I think it was up on the 7th floor or 8th floor or something to get up to the rink.
Yep. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Something like that. And you're taking fucking escalators.
Yeah, escalators or elevators up to the main.
Yeah.
So I've tried to get to basically all the cathedrals of hockey, right? I had been to the Forum. Unfortunately, never got to Chicago Stadium. Obviously, I had been to multiple games at Maple Leaf Gardens. I'm just a little bit of a hockey historian that way. And there's something about, the atmosphere of those older buildings with all the history that, just walking into Madison Square Garden and thinking of all the sports history that has happened there, not even just being hockey, but Muhammad Ali and it just goes on and on, right? And it just puts off a different feeling. It's a different atmosphere, and to think you're in the same building where so many of these great moments happened, that's kind of what fuels me to want to go.
Yeah,
no doubt. Where did the love of hockey come from? I mean, obviously you're Canadian, so it's like in your blood. But I mean, where'd it come from?
I think I was pretty much born with it in my blood, like you said. I started loving hockey from a very young age, and I was fortunate enough to not have parents that pushed me into it. You hear so many horror stories at times where parents really push their kids towards something, and they're trying to tell them they're going to be a superstar. Me, it all just came naturally, and I didn't start playing hockey until I came home one day and I told my parents, I said, that's it, I want to play. And it was just, I don't know, being Canadian, I think it was in my blood. The first time I saw a hockey game, that was it. It was all over.
I see you're a Bills fan there in the background, man. I'm 41 years old. I've been a Chiefs fan, Kansas City Chiefs fan since I was about 5. So I apologize.
won't hold that against you.
I apologize for your loss.
Yeah, I was really thinking if there was going to be one team that could run and gun with Mahomes and KC's offense, it was going to be the Bills. If it would have been anybody else, I would have honestly believed that KC would have just walked through. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of AFC championship games with the Bills and KC over the the next 5, maybe 10 years.
100% agree, man.
As long as Josh Allen and Mahomes stay where they are,
100%.
It's going to turn into quite the rivalry.
Definitely.
Yep, I'm a Bills guy myself. Bills Sabres.
You break any tables up there in Toronto?
I've gone through multiple tables outside of at the time Ralph Wilson Stadium, so I'm no stranger to a Bills Mafia tailgate.
Nice.
Nothing like it up there in fucking Bills country.
The tailgating is off the charts, man. We fucking tailgate and cook food, drink beers, just get blasted while games.
So I went.
You can go to a Bills game by yourself or with just one other person, and you end up walking out with 50 new friends, right? Like it's just absolutely insane, the camaraderie and everything between Bills Mafia. And it's too bad that the Bills didn't make the Super Bowl, because I had a double table break that was planned for. It was going to be a two table breakthrough. So
yeah,
nice.
Well, Derek and I went to a game there, and Derek thought it'd be a good idea to buy us Chiefs jerseys because they were playing the Chiefs, and we had to get escorted into the fucking stadium by a guy on a golf cart. He's like, "Hurry up, get on the."
There was some beer bottles thrown at us and everything else.
People spitting on us and shit, fucking screaming at us the whole game. I'm sitting there. I'm not even a fucking Kansas City fan, and people are screaming at me. I got that fucking jersey off.
That's not a place. That's a hostile environment. I'm not wearing another jersey in that fucking place.
Yeah, we didn't leave with any friends.
People have made a lot about me walking into Washington looking like I did, but yeah, it would take a set of cojones to walk into Buffalo wearing an opposing team's jersey. That's for sure.
And paint it up even more. That'd be crazy.
It was pretty terrifying, honestly.
So you have to. Do you hold that dart in your mouth for most of the game, or just once in a while? Or
honestly, since that moment of going viral, I've tried to put the most positive spin on it. Obviously, I understand the health risks involved in smoking, and I wanted to, I really wanted to think about the message I was putting out there with the platform I had. So I actually ran a quit smoking campaign with Nicorette, and you won't catch me pulling the cigarette out in the arena again. Some people might say it was selling out or turning my back on the whole thing that made me go viral. But I just wanted to put a positive message out there. I didn't ever want to hear somebody say that they started smoking because they saw dark eyes. So I actually kind of went the other way with it and stopped taking pictures with the cigarette and, like I said, the quit smoking campaign.
Nice.
Even when you're drunk, you still don't do it.
I can't say that 100%. There's definitely been some times in Toronto where I've had a couple pops or two, and after the game somebody says, "Oh, can you throw the dart in the picture?" And at that point in time, I have a couple of times. But
after a few $20 beers at the rank,
yeah,
$20 American. You boys want to? We're going to do a quick commercial again for Dormy, our sponsor, and then we'll get right into some NHL news here. So we're going to take a quick commercial
1 minute break.
Here.
1 minute break.
We're three brothers from a small town in the east coast of Canada.
Golf has been in our blood since Caddyshack was at the drive-in. We've dedicated our lives to this game.
Ride free with them high falcons in the sun. Ride the pebble on down. Not over 55 in the motor song. Back over at home in the AM radar. Love is coming on strong. It's getting you along. It's going in a go. Easy, won't you take me in? The some of that old-fashioned California sin. Oh, there's the rules. I don't make them. Give me the dice. Watch me shake them. If I give myself to you, well, you gotta give yourself to me. There's the rules.
Welcome back to episode 118.
I'm just going to show you guys our new version of the Dormy headgears that we just got from the guys at Dormy Dormy Workshop. These are for the boys, wherever you are there.
Yes,
Nice.
And we got a bunch more for some of our guests to give away. So we're really grateful for the guys at Dormy Workshop. They've been incredible to work with, and we're just glad we can help them sell, however many we can sell. We sold enough for them to give us another batch of head covers. So
There we go.
thank you to Todd and the boys at Dormy Workshop.
Yeah, not too much golf right now, so up there you can prepare for your greener pastures, I guess. It's fucking freezing up there right now. You guys get the snowstorm up in Toronto? Did you guys get that storm that just came through?
We've had a couple. They were calling for a massive storm here for the last week for a few days, and basically missed most of where I am. So, but I mean, I've still got like 2 feet of snow in my backyard. So,
Not much golf going on up there.
no, not really, not at this point in time.
Well, let's get into a little bit of what's going on in the NHL. We actually, for people that are listening, we've got the dark guy, Jason Malasco.
Yeah, the dark guy from Toronto, Moscow. Yeah,
Maslico, right?
There you go.
Well, it took me 6 times this time and 14 in the first try.
Listen, I've heard a lot worse attempts than that, so you're not doing too bad.
Hey, listen, we try to pronounce hockey players, current NHL players, the same way. So we'll just pretend you're an NHL player.
Good enough. Don't worry about it. I've bombed some guys' names when I was on TSN and stuff like that too. So it is what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, some of these NHL foreign guys, man. It's like, how the fuck do you say that?
So, let's talk about the North and what's going on up there in Canada.
Some success in the Leafs.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll lead with this question for everybody, and that's I guess my question is, with the way the NHL had shifted this league for this year, all the Canadian teams are playing each other. And, my question, I guess I'll throw this to Jason and everybody else can take a stab as well. But, my question is with, Montreal and Toronto sitting 1 and 2, roughly, 7-1, 7-2, would they have the same success right now if the NHL didn't step in and change the league around?
Well, I mean, Toronto's a talented team. We've known this for years. They've always been on the cusp of maybe just being 1 or 2 pieces short of making a real stab at it. And they've done a lot to shore their defense up in the offseason, give them a little bit of depth. So I honestly think Toronto would still be up there. Montreal, let me just throw this in right now. Montreal Canadian fans are absolutely fucking unbearable right now.
Right.
They always one of the jokes they always say to Toronto is, "Oh, plan to parade." But legitimately, we're 10 games in here, and these guys are talking about like engraving their names on the cup already. It's just absolutely unbearable. But Montreal, I honestly think Montreal's playing above their head a little bit here. They're, obviously Bergeron made some changes in the offseason. He brought in some character guys that have made a difference. I always loved Suzuki, and he's, showing up and performing this year. So that's good for him. Good to see him taking that step. But I think the wheels fall off for Montreal sooner or later. They've played 10 games. They're only 1 point ahead of us by virtue of an overtime loss.
Yeah,
I do not see them maintaining this all the way through. You look at they're scoring a lot of goals right now. I think they got like a plus 17 differential, something like that.
Yeah, plus 17.
But I don't see it. They're doing good, and I'm happy to see the rivalries alive. But I don't see it.
I mean, that's one of the things that's kind of plaguing some of the other teams in the league right now is, a lot of injuries and stuff with this like compact game schedule, playing, every fucking night of the week and shit like that. You know what I mean? So Montreal is pretty unscathed right now as far as injuries go. So that's kind of plays into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, they can put the puck in the net. I mean, like Jason just said, they're plus 14.
17.
17. So, I mean, they're putting the puck in the net, but it's still early, like you said. And I don't know. They did, Bergeron did bring in some key players to help Montreal, but I'm with you, though. The Montreal fans are a little crazy, but that's Canadian teams. Toronto fans are crazy. Montreal fans are crazy. Ottawa fans, I thought Ottawa was going to be doing much better than they are, but that's just Canada, man. You guys got hockey players on your money. Come on.
Well, and the other thing with Montreal right now is they've played 5 out of their 10 games against the Vancouver Canucks, who are struggling to start the year. So, Hey, good for you. You beat the same team 5 times already, and they're playing like garbage. So I think Montreal fans really need to temper their expectations, because they might be in for a rude awakening when they start catching up on games against some tougher teams in the North.
Yeah, I took a little bit of shit before the season started, basically saying the same thing, that I didn't think Montreal was going to see a whole lot of success. And, one guy commented that he wouldn't watch the show. He said it was entertaining, but wouldn't watch us, Look, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be objective. I just didn't think that, I don't think Montreal's there yet. They might have a little bit of success right now. The horses have come out of the gates. So far, they have teetered towards the front. But that doesn't mean they're going to be there in, 40 more games. So,
yeah.
Well, they're pounding their chests about, having the best goaltending duo in the NHL. And it's like, well, first of all, I believe that belongs to Vegas with Leonard and Fleury. However, when you look at things, if this was 2006 or 2007, you might have an argument. But, I mean, Carey Price over the last 3-4 years, he's only had a save percentage above 910 once. Last year, he was 904 or something, or even below. So far, Montreal as a team, their goals against average was above 3. Their save percentage was below 900. So yeah, good for you. You're winning some games, but when that's you're winning on a lot of offense against some weak teams right now. So
yeah. A lot of my comments was based on them being still in the Atlantic. I didn't at that point, I don't think the NHL had completely committed to the new divisions. And so my comments were kind of based on, whether they were going to play the original, in the original divisions. And, with the change up, I didn't think they were going to be there.
I think the biggest thing with the division change is playing the same teams back to back, week after week, and trying to beat the same teams over and over. It gets hard. It's hard to beat the same team twice. So I say some of these teams are having success the second night after a loss, and they're picking up the win the second night in. And just the way sports is, it gets hard to beat that team again night in, night out. So I think that's going to affect some of the standings this year. I do think I'm surprised that Calgary hasn't performed better, even though we are still pretty early. They do have a talented squad.
Markstrom's on fire, though. I like to see Markstrom in that. He's doing well for them. We got Cam Talbot in Minnesota. We watch Minnesota here quite a bit. But Jason, I had a question for you. Just being a Canadian, would you, as a big Toronto fan, and I know the rivalries with Canadian teams, would you be happy if the Lord Stanley went to Montreal just because it's in Canada, or
absolutely not?
Absolutely. I just had to get that, because some Canadians are like, as long as the cup's in Canada, I don't care, but I fucking hate Montreal, but long as the cup's in Canada. So
the media makes it seem that way anyways, that, if it's, Canadians just want a Canadian team to win the cup. So it's cool to hear that.
Not this Canadian. Leafs are bust. I mean, listen, if we want to really break it down and get technical on it, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but you look at any team, whether they're in the U.S. or Canada based, the team's 50, 60, 70% Canadians anyway, right? So
Yeah,
really, whatever team wins the cup
it's Canadian.
Canadian.
was fairly Canadian.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Did you guys just see that the Minnesota Wild, speaking of the Wild, being Wild fans, they're just got a bunch of guys that are tested positive, so they canceled their season. They canceled a few of their games, and they're not going to play until like for another week or so.
Yeah, I saw about 5-6 guys so far.
Yeah. So
Same strip club? Same strip club or what?
Yes.
Must be.
Steelers. Throwing fucking toonies.
Well, at least you know Cam Talbot's had a pretty good resurgence so far before his injury there that put him out, and Kirill Kaprizov there, he's been a nice revelation that you guys finally got him over after waiting so long for him. So he's looking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting the puck in the net. Some of them aren't pretty, but a goal's a goal, right? And the whole team's kind of doing okay, actually. I mean, they're better than I thought they were going to do. I mean, they beat Colorado the other night with a taxi squad. So,
well, I had some faith in Talbot. I took him in the late rounds of a lot of fantasy pools just because I had a little feeling he was going to have a little bit of a resurgence back in Minnesota, and it's worked out fairly well so far. So,
yeah, I mean, Minnesota's right up there, third place. So, Vegas, St. Louis, we know Colorado. I mean, we're all Colorado fans here. We had Jared Bettner on a few podcasts ago and talking to him. But we had Colorado winning the whole thing last year, and on paper, they should win.
If I would have known you guys were Colorado fans before this started, I probably wouldn't have came on.
Well,
I wouldn't say we're Colorado fans. We just think they're a good team, I guess.
The only reason I say that is out of jealousy when I look at some of the talented youth you guys have on the back end there. Being a Leafs fan, we've struggled to shore up our D for years, and then I look over at the wealth of riches that the Avalanche have between Makar and Byron, and you still got Connor Timmins there, who's can make a difference, So I'm a little bit jealous. That's where the disdain comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that. Most of their defensemen I think there's out of the 5 that played last night, 5 of the 6 were 22 years old. And there's one guy that was 27 years old, but he'd only played in 4 games in the NHL so far. So like the main crew is like 19, 22, 21, 22. It's crazy.
I mean, when I was 19, 22, I was like laying next to a curb outside McDuff's bar,
waiting for some girl to take you home.
Yeah. I see the Detroit 0-7. Man, that sucks for them. We're big Jimmy Howard fans. Jimmy Howard's from like our hometown, so it was bad. We were a little upset, sour, I guess.
Well, truth be told, I thought he could have been a serviceable backup.
Yeah, totally.
To see him not really get too many offers and then we'll decide to opt for retirement instead of playing somewhere. I mean, you're telling me there wasn't one team in the NHL?
Yeah,
Edmonton Oilers could have used him as a backup goalie, like.
Totally.
I mean, he's a legit goalie. He just had no one in front of him, the last year.
And fucking Bernier is now facing the same thing that Howard is.
Yeah, right.
He's getting lit up every night. So, you know what? You're going to send Bernier down the road next year or what?
Yeah, it's tough. We're just sour because we're fans of them, I guess.
Well, so, I'll bring it back into the North. My next question or observation of watching the games was, the other night Edmonton beat Ottawa 8-5, right? Draisaitl had 6, McDavid had 5, and I'm thinking, that's good for them, but they're sitting fucking 6-6.
Yeah.
Right? So how can you take that as, oh, great, you got the best, according to all the fans and everybody else. McDavid is nasty. I don't take nothing away. Draisaitl nasty, right? You're sitting 6-6.
Yeah.
So, how can you got to take that with, I guess, a grain of salt there.
100%. I mean, when you score 8 goals against Ottawa, you should be winning. But and I need to be careful here because the Leafs did lose that game, the second game of the year to Ottawa. I still don't know how they managed that. But when you're letting Ottawa plow in 5 goals on you, that is a very alarming stat. Yeah, you won the game, good for you, but it was 8-5 against Ottawa.
I thought, Jason, did you think Ottawa was going to be pretty good this year? At least something to talk about, at least.
Fuck no.
I mean,
whoever said that, yeah. Honestly, I had no faith. Some of the experts out there or pundits said that they were much improved, and they were looking at guys like Norris coming in and maybe providing some extra scoring. And while he's been good, and some of the younger guys have been good, there's not enough there. A lot was being made about Matt Murray going over. Well, if anybody's been watching hockey for the last couple of years, Matt Murray has not been a Vezina caliber goaltender. So I really didn't think Ottawa was going to be any good. The one team that is kind of surprising me is Vancouver. I thought we were going to see a whole lot more out of them. I actually had them as a peg before the season started to be a team that'll maybe finish behind the Leafs in the North, and we haven't seen that so far. And who knew Tyler Toffoli meant so much to the Vancouver Canucks?
Yeah, he's doing well.
I was going to say that. Yeah, you brought it up earlier. Montreal had 5 wins against Vancouver. Well, a lot of that was the Toffoli trade to Montreal. He had a lot of success against his old team. And, for obvious reasons, right? Anytime you play against a team that traded you, you're playing fucking hard that night.
Yeah, you're fired up. You want to prove a point.
Yeah. I think the point is taken out in Vancouver right now.
The GM's kicking himself in the ass.
I even did it when I was younger. I got let go by one team, and the next that year after they let me go, I was with them for about 3 years. That year, and I've still got all the newspaper stories. I shut them out like 5 games in a row. So I was a little bit bitter that they thought I wasn't good enough for their team anymore, and stuck it to them the next year pretty good.
You're a goalie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
That explains everything.
Well, that has been made light of. That when people find out I was a goalie, I'm like, okay, well, you're a little bit not right. So this explains a lot.
Totally.
I think lacrosse goalies are a little crazier, but hockey goalies are right up there for sure.
Oh yeah, well, I can tell you, I can tell you some stories that would probably be better suited for off air. So I'll leave it there.
You play lacrosse?
I never did. So where I grew up in Ontario was a little town called Sudbury, Ontario.
Yeah,
and it
was Wolves,
was
right?
Yeah, the Sudbury Wolves, and there was no lacrosse up there. I would have loved to have played, but simply didn't have lacrosse until up north until I think I was about 22, 23 years old when they finally started doing lacrosse up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Barrie, where you are now, they have lacrosse there. I used to play in the NLL, where the Toronto Rock. We used to play against the Toronto Rock up there, and there was a lot of guys from St. Cat's and Barrie and shit like that, Orangeville. All around the Toronto area, actually, indoor guys.
Yeah, I've been a Toronto Rock fan for a long time. I mean, I love the sport. I wish they would have had it when I was younger, but always been a fan.
Yeah,
they had great support up there in Toronto.
I mean, Canada in general. Canada is huge for.
I'm a pretty big Brody Merrill fan. I went to Salisbury Private School with him, and just before he went on to Georgetown, and then continued his career, but. Pretty big Brody Merrill fan.
What's the name of that school he coaches for up there in Toronto? You know?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Brody? I'm not sure.
Prep school, I don't know, big time hockey and lacrosse prep school up there.
The first one that's coming to mind is Upper Canada College or St. Michael's, one of the two.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So there's no fucking fans in Toronto, right? You can't go to the games now, right?
No. I'm getting a little bit bitter about it too. I mean, if courtside Karen can happen in the NBA, the Leafs should be able to slide me into the arena for a couple games. Like,
oh yeah.
What the hell was that? Courtside Karen, LeBron gets her kicked out. Oh my god!
We call her like a fat steroid ass or some shit.
I don't know. Whatever it was, like you are like have so much money. I guess just myself, I would just let it go in one ear out the other. But I guess it's easier to say me sitting here drinking Coors Light. But
well, I guess it started between LeBron and the lady's husband, right? Like they were chirping back and forth.
Right.
And then she decided to get involved. So I thought it was a little bit of a funny story. But yeah, I mean, being a diehard sports fan, it's like we could put 2,000-3,000 people in a 20,000 seat stadium in Toronto and socially distance and be safe. Yeah. Like, so what are we doing here? So I see it happening in the NBA. You know, the NFL did a great job of getting some fans in for games, especially for the playoffs. I don't see why we couldn't get some fans in the stands for NHL games. And you know what? Maybe not even for myself, but get some healthcare workers, first responders, get them in there to thank them. You know.
Yeah, I've seen more people in Walmart than I have at professional games. Yeah.
Come on now. Come on.
Jason, what do you think about that jersey right there? What's your take on that bad boy?
Well, I'm going to tell you, being a diehard Leafs fan, it's tough for me to say, but you just mentioned Walmart. To me, that looks like the $29.99 knockoff jersey you find at Walmart or Canadian Tire here.
Canadian Tire. I forgot Canadian Tire. Yeah. Don't they have like a lion or something as their logo? Not their logo, but like their mascot type. Mascot. Yeah. This is the Wild. The Wild played with that the other night. I kind of liked it.
Shit was bright in the back.
I love the Wild. I love the color combo of the old North Stars jerseys.
Yeah.
So the Wild is one of my favorite ones that came out, along with actually Colorado's throwback to the Nordiques.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
How about the advertising on the helmets? What do you think about that? Is that a slippery slope? Is it just going to start going downhill, or do you think it's just obviously the revenue is tight? They're trying to generate a little bit of money. Even the divisions have the Capital One and the
Honda,
North Honda and stuff. But what do you think about that, Jason?
This has been a long time coming. The conversations have been happening for years. I've never been a fan of it. Given today's climate and the needed revenue, I understand it. I do not ever want to see an NHL jersey look like a European League jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man.
Yeah,
I will never buy another jersey if there's advertising on it and that kind of stuff. You look at the Leafs with their Scotiabank, the small S, it's very subtle, it's respectable, and you really honestly don't notice it a whole lot, but you look over to like Montreal, that's got Bell, 4 big letters across the side of the helmet. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
You just don't like Montreal. Come on.
Well, I think Ottawa has the big Bell thing too. So
yeah.
I think a lot of the helmet sponsors coincide with the naming rights for the arena, maybe because people aren't going to the arena. Yeah. If you notice that, like Ball Arena in Colorado, Ball sponsor.
Excel Center, Minnesota.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think all of them did that, but it seems like a lot of the teams have wherever the name of the arena is, that sponsor got onto the helmets for probably making up some sponsorship money for people not going to the rink.
Yeah. I think you're opening the door. You're opening Pandora's box to advertisements on the pants and the jerseys and stuff. I hope it doesn't happen. And if it does happen, we better see the salary cap gone.
Yeah, right.
Because, if they're going to start bringing in that kind of revenue and everything like that, then maybe it's time to go towards, like a luxury tax type deal or a floating cap, like you see in the NFL and stuff. So,
yeah, I'm with you on that. That's a good point, Jason. Really good point.
Down here,
we don't want to see like dark guy with like an advertisement spray painted into his beard.
Well, I mean, I'd be game for it, I guess, if the money
right price.
The right price.
The right price.
DeMaurier or what is the other one up there?
Players. Well, you know, like that's kind of been like a little bit of a point of contention. Is like, listen, I've had a great run. I've had a lot of endorsement deals, but the one thing that kicks me a little bit is if it would have still been legal to advertise tobacco, I'd be a millionaire right now.
Is that what it was? Is that what it is, Jason? It's illegal?
Illegal to advertise tobacco products in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Too many lip cards.
So by all means, like if it would have still been legal to advertise tobacco products in Canada, I would be a millionaire right now.
That's true.
I would have been like the modern day Canadian Marlboro Man.
Yeah.
And I would have been rich.
I mean, to be honest, you're right. I mean, a Canadian hockey fan, the dart guy, you would have had a huge contract for sure.
As long as it was still legal to advertise.
That's crazy to think about. Right
I've shook my head about that a couple times. Been like, man, a couple years too late.
Yeah, that's right.
If only you were the Molson guy.
Nice.
Yeah, well, they are doing things down here in Florida.
Let me ask you guys about Zdeno Chara getting traded to the Caps, playing pretty fucking well for the Caps.
4 points, man.
4 points, and when they played the Bruins, they had a nice picture of fucking Chara putting a smack on fucking the rat Brad Marchand.
Yeah. And he had a nice slapper from the point. I thought it was stupid of Boston to get rid of him. Like, you can't tell me that who would want him on, the whole thing of he's slow. But to tell you what, I would want him if I was a GM on my team. The penalty kill, his reach, his just being a veteran. I don't know why. I guess Boston's just.
I mean, look he's in Washington now. It is what it is, and you see the response after he scored that first goal. The whole fucking bench crowded him. They love him there.
Yeah, they mob him.
And the reality is for Chara, I'd want to be in Washington. They want me there right now.
Yeah,
they don't want me in Boston.
Well, he's old as hell though, too. I mean, and Pat.
It's like Toronto taking Jumbo Joe.
Listen, Pat's still wearing a fucking V-neck, so I mean, what does he have to tell about?
It's just,
huh?
And I'm in the library. If you guys
he's in a fucking library that he hasn't read any books in. I mean, he hasn't read. How many books of those have you read? Like 2?
0.
Exactly. My wife.
He's giving way too much credit.
He wears the fucking V-neck, and he's talking about Char, and he's read 2 books in his library. I mean,
2 books in my life.
Yeah, nice. all the porno mags are not on screen.
That doesn't count, right? Yeah, pornos don't count. Well, we appreciate you coming on. It was fun having you on tonight, Jason, and we'll definitely have to get you on again.
Pleasure was mine, guys. I can talk hockey with anybody till I'm blue in the face. Excuse the pun, but
wow, yeah,
I'd be happy to join you guys again. It's been a pleasure.
Tell us about your podcast. You go live every Monday.
Monday nights live at 7. It streams on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Available afterwards on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and yeah, it's called The Smoke Show with Dark Eye and Drury. It's basically a sports-centric show focused in mostly on hockey. We've had some pretty big guests so far. We've had Paul Bissonnette.
Oh, nice.
Nick Kyprios. So it's been off to a good start so far, and look forward to keeping it going.
How'd you get Biz Nasty on there? That's a big one, man.
So Paul and I started talking a couple of years ago, and when I first went viral, and kept in touch. And
nice.
When my friend and I, Ryan Drury, decided to go ahead and launch this podcast, I was trying to think of who I wanted for our first guest, and I reached out to Biz Nasty, and he didn't even hesitate. He said, "Yeah, I'm in." So
nice,
awesome.
Real awesome that I'm able to get guys like that, and they don't even think twice about it. So
cool. Surprise Barstools hasn't reached out to you.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. I've never once heard from Barstool. Like I know they had when I first went viral, they had posted my picture a couple times and had some conversations about like Dark Guy. But I never actually had any interaction with them at all, and they never reached out. So I was kind of surprised about. But I get it. Portney's a Bostonian, a Bruins fan, so he doesn't want me on there chirping him, making him look bad.
Well, there's Barstool Canada now. You seen that?
I actually haven't seen that Barstool Canada was coming out.
There's a satellite in Canada now, so you have to reach out to them. I'm sure that if I was in charge of that, you would definitely be on the squad. That's for sure.
Well, if I do ever get on, I'll be challenging Portney to a debate because me and him need to have some words one-on-one.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. It was a pleasure. You're a great guy. I mean, we always say that. Derek always says it, that hockey community seems to be pretty level-headed, cool people. So you're definitely cool in our book, and it was awesome having you on, man.
I appreciate it, guys. I'd be happy to come back anytime. Cheers.
All right, cheers. Thanks, man.
God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
You too, bud.
That was pretty cool. Just how everything got started and what he did. I can't imagine too. The fame he got just for going on the podcast overnight going viral. That's social media, man.
It's going to a Washington Capitals game, and all of a sudden he's famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, man. Yeah, up there in Toronto, they've always had a little bit of a problem with the suits owning all the seats. So a lot of the corporations buy up the season tickets, and it's hard for people that don't have a lot of money to get tickets up there. So that's kind of what he's referring to there. I know some people in Toronto that like bitch and complain about that because you'll go to a game and, there'll be a bunch of empty seats because the fucking, people at the corporations don't go.
Yeah.
Like the New York Yankees, man.
Yeah. That is true, Mark. That is a big issue up in Canada. I've heard that numerous times in the hockey world about, all the corporations and the big suits. Just, it's diehard hockey there. If you got someone coming into town that you want to wheel and deal, what do you do in Canada? You don't take them to the CFL or fucking NLL game. You take them to an NHL game, and they don't. If they don't have a big someone to fucking fluff their nuts. They're not going to the games, and fucking the Dark Guy he's a fucking super fan. Like he would die to go to the game, and I think you would want the super fans there more than the suits. But
yeah,
you definitely would.
Money talks.
Yes, sir. Hey, another good one, boys. This is number 18 is in the books, and
118. We're coming up on an anniversary here. Just to let you guys know, 3 years. The Blue Line Hockey.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more ugly mugs.
Yes. It's fun. We'll try to get Paul Biss and that. We got a couple people lined up to come on. So we just have fun, talk some hockey. It's the Players Podcast.
Listen, I just want to say I'm really happy to be back with you guys. There's been a couple of weeks where life got a little weird for me, and I'm super glad to be back. Makes me very, very happy to see your faces, and it's really, really great to be back again, and I look forward to many, many more podcasts, man. This is like gets me back in my happy zone, man. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't see a single beer in your mouth tonight, mister.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go grab one right about now.
Well, it's just four guys that grew up together, and we're all busy, and we try to get together once a week to talk some hockey and bring some guests on and have fun like tonight. So I enjoy it. I love it. I can't wait for Wednesday. So glad to do it. And let's do a quick Dormy commercial, and we'll do a shot, and we'll leave there, Marley. All right?
Yes,
boys. So Dormy, Rob, you got the head covers? Where's the Dormy?
Yeah,
also got Golf Most Wanted. Check them out.
Derek's, they're going out tomorrow to the boys.
That'll
got the
definitely help me hit them straight.
Those will definitely help you hit them straight. And I got you guys a little extra present.
Golf Most Wanted.
Yeah, baby.
Boys.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
way up, fellas. the
I
comment.
just want to say, Derek, I've been practicing my swing, so watch out.
We're three brothers from a small town in the east coast of Canada.
Golf has been in our blood since Caddyshack was at the drive-in.
We've dedicated our lives to this game.
Ride free with them high falcons in the sun. Ride the pebble on down. Now don't 55 up in the motor song. Back over at home in the AM radar. Love's coming on strong. It's getting you along. It's going in a go. Easy, oh, won't you take me in? Some of that old-fashioned California sin. Oh, there's the rules. I don't make them. Be the dice. Watch me shake them. If I give myself to you, well, you gotta give yourself to me. There's the rules.
Yeah, I'm loving that music in that commercial there. It's good stuff there.
That is good stuff. Get you pumped.
Well, boys, we're gonna ready to wrap it up for the evening.
Yeah, we're good for the night. That was a good podcast. We'll be back next week and see what happens. I'm kind of thinking the games are going to start slowing down here a bit with COVID-19. Teams, the Sabres, we had the Carolina Hurricanes here, had the Dallas Stars at the beginning of the season. Now we got the Minnesota Wild. So it gives the boys a break, I guess. I was talking to my nephew, so once he heard there's a little pause, he had a 12-pack of Molson in his hand. So, but good podcast, boys.
Yes, sir. All right, boys. Another good one. 118 in the books. And until next time, keep your stick on the ice.
See ya.
Sweeto!
Oh, doctor.
Keep your head up.
Meow.